Hello Changemaker students. The following slides will introduce you to the topic of market research 2. In this session, you will learn about the different types of market research and, more importantly, why it is so important that you do market research for your startup. As was learned in the previous lesson on market research was described as a long-term approach of management that generates value and benefits for the customers while providing the company with a competitive advantage in the marketplace. A company has competitive advantage when a product or a service gives extra value to the customer compared to the competing products. This competitive advantage is the basis for customers or the buyer's choice. In market research, the company gathers information about their business's buyer personas, target audience, and customers to determine how viable and how successful their product or service would be and is among these people. Why do you need market research? You need market research in order to find out critical information about your market and the surroundings of your business. Market research may tell you how your company is seen by the target customers and clients you want to reach. It can help you to find out who and where your customers are and which customers are most likely to buy your products and otherwise do business with you. There are a wide range of reasons for doing market research, not all of which have a purely financial basis. You might consider doing market research for your company for any or all of the following reasons. Firstly, to increase your income, to expand your client base, to discourage any competition, to improve your company image, to promote current and new services or products, to introduce new providers, and enter a new marketplace or gain or retain market share. Why should you do market research for your startup? Let's start by tackling these 6 questions. What is the market that you're in? Let's say you want to sell paper coffee cups from recycled materials. Then you may think first about cafes who sell coffee as takeaway to their customers. But another possible market for you could be the companies who have coffee rooms for their personnel and use a lot of paper coffee cups. Then you can think even wider and try to find customers within catering companies, supermarkets, and even coffee product sales companies who may add your cups with each bag of coffee and, for example, print their logo on those cups. Who are your customers, your buyer personas? In other words, who are the customers who are interested in your product? For example, if you sell footballs, your customers would most probably be those who like to play the sport or are willing to start playing, customers coming from almost all age groups. What motivates their behavior? What needs do your customers have? There is always more than one need each product can cover for a customer. You can find out the needs or problems of your customers based on an investigation through a questionnaire for your target group. Who is involved in the purchase decision? The manager of the company or a direct customer. If you are selling paper for copy machines, probably you should not contact the help desk or customer's offices. You should speak with the supply management department and find a person who has the rights for the purchase decision. If you're selling toys, your customer is a child, but the purchase decision will be made by a parent. Which customers are worth the most? Are there customers that would buy more of your products than an average customer? Maybe there is someone who is willing to buy higher value products or buy more often from you. Usually, the customer comes back to your product or your company if he or she has had a good experience with you. They will also refer your business to other customers, and that can grow your customer base. Who are your competitors? In some markets, there is not that much competition, and there might be only one or two competing products or services. Then you will have more flexibility to price your products and services. When there is more competition, you need to be more thoughtful with your pricing. Also, after doing market research, you could have information about industry and market outlook. Market research will help you to get a good understanding of the market, a good understanding of your customers, and what affects their buying decisions. Market size and market trends. You need to have a good understanding of the size of the market you're going for, as it will help you to plan your next steps and also helps you with your decision making. Small companies or small startups will need to look after market trends too, which is meant by the changes and the developments in buying and selling, to understand them, to evaluate and analyze for further decision making. Competitor market share. How much of the market share do your competitors have? Find that out and analyze how they are operating so you can compare it to your business and improve from there. Product marketing. Identification of market niches for which it is desirable to use targeted marketing and the information of a product service promotion based on the requirements of this target market. Customer experience. Explore your customer satisfaction levels. How familiar are they with the product and all its characteristics, and ensure a better customer experience in the future. Good market research will help you to identify some bottlenecks that might come when you're starting out your business, and also will help you with your decision making. Market research will also help you to understand your competitors, which can help you in pricing your product and place your company in the market with the right business plan. There are different types of market research. For example, interviews, focus groups, product or service use research, observation-based research, buyer persona research, market segmentation research, pricing research, and competitive analysis research. In this market research, you can use one or more of the following methods. Firstly, you could use buyer persona research. Buyer persona research gives you an understanding of your target audience, what their needs are, why they need or want your product or service, and more. You could also use interviews. Interviews, face-to-face or virtual, allows you to discuss and communicate directly with your possible target audience in a natural conversation and receive informative answers. You could also use product or service use research. Product or service use research offers insight into how and why your audience uses your product or service and specific features of it. This type of market research also gives you an idea of the product or service's usability for your target audience. Finally, you could use focus groups. Focus groups are groups of selected people who could test out your product, watch a demo, give feedback, answer specific questions, etc. How to do market research for identifying your buyer persona. Firstly, you must define your buyer persona. To understand how customers in your market make buying decisions, you must first identify who they are. Buyer persona, or the marketing persona, is a generalized representation of your perfect customer. You should know the main key features of your buyer persona. For example, what is their age? What is their gender? From which location they are from? What is their job title, their profession or industry? What is their family status? How much income do they make? And what are the main needs or challenges? Here are some examples to help you to identify your buyer persona. If your buyer persona is a company and you are selling inexpensive or second-hand equipment for hairdressing salons or barber shops, your buyer persona could be a company that is 2 to 3 years old and may need some equipment updating. A company of 2 to 5 departments with potential of becoming a permanent customer with bigger volume of orders. A company of nearby location, since long-distance delivery will raise the price of the equipment. Beauty industry, specifically hairdressing, with middle-sized company incomes per year. The needs of the buyer persona, here as an example, a company, updating equipment with low costs and environmentally friendly, long-lasting products. If your buyer persona is a person and you are selling gaming laptops, the person could be described as a male, aged 12 to 40. Any location if your company has delivery services. He could be unemployed, working, studying. A single man. A person with the middle level of incomes, as it is quite expensive laptop. The needs of the buyer persona here as a person would be spending free time in gaming with an environmentally friendly, energy-saving laptop. How to use the perfect buyer persona information. When you have defined your perfect buyer persona, you can use this information as a guideline for your communication and to learn about the real customers within your market. You might find out that you have several buyer personas. Just make a personal profile for each of them. Firstly, identify a target group. Your target group can include people who could be your potential customers, but also people who will never become your customers. Investigate in what kind of social groups your potential buyer personas belong to, as this will help you to better understand their actual features, needs or problems and buying habits. Secondly, prepare investigating questions for your market research participants. To get the best result from your target groups, you should be well prepared in advance. You can create a template for your conversation, take notes or record your meetings and interviews. Please don't forget to ask permission to use this information received during your meetings and interviews. Who are your competitors? List your primary competitors. Write down your competitors. When you do, try to look into the competition landscape from different angles. Writing down competitors isn't always as simple as company A versus a company B. Sometimes a section of a company could compete with your main product or service, even if that company's brand might put more effort into another industry. For example, Apple is known for its laptops and mobile devices, but Apple Music competes with Spotify and their music streaming services. From a content point of view, you might compete with a blog, YouTube channel, social media page, or similar publication for inbound website visitors, even though their products don't overlap with yours at all. And a toothpaste company might compete with magazines like health.com or prevention on certain blog topics related to health and hygiene, even though the magazines don't actually sell oral care products. Identifying industry competitors. To identify competitors whose products or services are competing with yours, make a decision which industry or industries you're going after. Start by using terms like education, construction, media and entertainment, food service, healthcare, etc. You can continue the list, but you should find an industry that fits your business. Then you can create a list of competing companies who are also in this industry. Once you have this list of competing companies who are also in this industry, you can do the following. You can Google it. You can find out which companies' web pages you will see in the top of the Google search and which of them are the most popular among your potential customers. If the content the website publishes seems like the stuff your buyer persona would want to see, it's a potential competitor and should be added to your list of competitors. Use search engines and social media to look for information. Digital marketing is a component of marketing that utilizes internet and online-based digital technologies such as computers, mobile phones, and other digital media and platforms to promote products and services. In short, it is advertising delivered through digital channels. Channels such as social media, mobile applications, email, web applications, search engines, websites, or any new digital channel. Social media marketing first started with publishing. Businesses were sharing their content on social media to generate traffic to their websites and hopefully in their sales. But social media has matured far beyond being just a place for broadcast content. Nowadays, businesses use social media in a myriad of different ways. For example, a business that is concerned about what people are saying about its brand would monitor social media conversations and respond to relevant mentions. There are many social media platforms that could help your startup to attract more customers and promote your brand. The most known and most common ones at the moment are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, and TikTok. Each platform has its own user base, which means you can reach different target groups. Please have a look at the short video to learn about social media marketing. Branding and green branding. After you decided what products and services you will provide and finalized your market research, you probably discovered how many brands can be found all over your industry. Building your own brand is not an easy task to do, but a more strategic way of thinking. You may use your market research results when you're building up your own green brand. Green brands are those brands that consumers associate with environmental conversation and sustainable business practices. Such brands appeal to consumers who are becoming more aware of the need to protect the environment. A green brand can add a unique selling point to a product and can boost corporate image. Those days, when just advertising campaign was enough to make your brand attractive to a customer, are gone. Your brand story should be associated not so much with low prices and lean manufacturing, but with the ability to improve the lives of your customers and bring positive changes to the world. At the core of today's consumer's brand is the drive to promote healthier, more informed choices, protect the environment, and advance the circular economy while meeting customer needs. Here are some examples of green brands, such as Lovia, Fairphone, and Buy Me Once. Take a look at these examples, then take some time for a discussion. Do you think these companies have been successful with their branding? Yes, no, and why? Do you have a favorite sustainable brand that has made a movement out of a molehill? Thank you for listening.